I already knew once Effie opened that door with the lights tinted just at that nice pinkish reddish light. You know what I'm saying? If you've been to college, you know. And then the Summer Walker was playing in the background. I was like, yeah, this is going down. Because the kid the coldest. Ain't changed, I stay the same and maintain it. Safe to say the kid get older. Forever gang, I'm never switching over. Made a lane and niggas can't get over. I can't mess with rappers, they be voting. Rather get the pack and keep it over. Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Dapper back with another Power Book 2 Ghost reaction. Today we're getting into episode 8 of season 3. And this is a doozy. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the better episodes in Power Book Ghost, history, in my opinion. I think this is at least top 3 for me. Like, cause things that happen in this episode that I didn't even see coming, and I'm usually pretty decent at predicting how power is gonna flow. But before we even hop into that, make sure the first thing you do, or the next thing you do rather, is going to be liking and subscribing. It costs nothing, it takes nothing just to like, subscribe, and obviously at the end of this video, if you have a comment, or if you have a comment during the video, make sure you leave it in the comments below. As you see on my other videos, I like to discuss, I like to get into what your guys' theories are and things of that nature. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, first things first, we're going to give a solemn RIP to a man that should have been off the show seasons ago. R.I.P. to Cooper Saxe. We finally got Saxe out of here. Shoot. Let's get into what Saxe got into this episode. So first, I want to say Saxe, for me, served his purpose. And like I kept saying in prior episodes, it was about time, because how long are we going to keep him doing the same thing? You can't move that sleazy, that slimy, try and play in both sides, forever and it not catch up to you finally. Now, granted, I will say I'm in disagreement with how he died, but I'll get into that when we get to that character. But at the end of the day, what needed to happen happened, and I'm glad to see it. But let's talk about the implications of things that happened while he was still alive. So you talk about, him making him look like a fool, of course, in typical Saxe fashion. Of course he's not going to go out, die before doing something that makes him look like a fool, which is the standard of what has happened to his character throughout Power as the universe. Obviously they tip him off with the Effie thing because Diana gives him the tip and it goes nowhere. They found sugar instead of Coke. You know what I'm saying? And he ends up being at odds with Jenny. You know what I'm saying? She tells him she has no protection at all. She's not even fending for him. It's over. It's done. Everything that happened was typical Saxe. And I saw it. I didn't see it coming this episode per se, but I knew it would happen this season. I didn't get to share it yet, but I felt that Saxe was not making it past season 3. I just had a feeling. Now, Davis has a great wake-up call. Davis has a great wake-up call this episode because he sees that, he's been outsmarted to a degree, or at least maybe not outsmarted, but he's been fooled. Fooled by Saxe. So Saxe is obviously the CI, like we found out, and basically been playing him, trying to get on his good side to help him out. And he ends up obviously involving Saxe in something very personal to him, which he wasn't involved at first until he trusted Saxe, was with his brother, Theo Rollins, that ends up, putting him in a bad space, because now Saxe can leak that information. That can ruin Davis' whole career if Saxe, puts that out to the public, that there was bribes, so on and so forth. It ruins Theo's release. So Davis ends up, obviously tight. Saxe even fools him into going to represent Diana before, he gets a chance to go in there. And, luckily Davis is smooth enough to slip Diana that tip. Or, who knows? Saxe probably doesn't die if he doesn't slip Diana that tip. And, tells her to put it on Effie, which then leads to Saxe being, on the bad side of Blanca and Jenny, which then leads to where it leads to. So it's crazy. But, I like the turn they're doing in Davis' story where, making him, a little more vulnerable. Because it felt like for a while, Davis felt like he was just too untouchable, basically. Too just smart, too get in his way. But now we finally hit him in the part that hurts. You know what I'm saying? And he ends at the end obviously having to witness his brother die, kill Saxe, and then die, which is crazy because all he ever wanted, all he's been doing, all he's ever worked for is trying to get his brother out that situation because his brother gave him the opportunity to be who he is. And it's just sad to see that he just never got to see that through. And I mean, I don't know where this leaves. I'm wondering where this leaves Davis emotionally to go forward, because obviously he still needs to represent the Tejadas, things of that nature. And Tariq, and he's still implicated in certain things. Like, people are gonna want answers. He's gonna have to provide answers. So I just want to see where this leaves Davis going forward. I know this is not the Theo we saw this season, but let's shout out to the OG Theo Rollins, Redman, who should have been playing him if it wasn't for the fact that, what I'm saying, some BS happened. But I will say, I didn't like Theo being the one to kill Sax. I felt like it was less poetic. I felt like Theo, I don't know, like the committing suicide, as bad as that sounds, and trigger warning, things of that nature, I expected that. I didn't expect him to be the one to kill Sax. I don't know. I didn't like it as much as I wanted Sax to go. I would have rather had been more poetic with somebody like Tariq doing it, because of their history, this long term history. For Sax to get killed by a guy that kind of just pops up in this season, pretty much, because he really wasn't a factor in the other two seasons too much. We just got a glimpse here and there. I kind of just didn't really like it too much, but that's all I really got to say on Theo. Now, Drew has now taken the crown from Brayden as the sloppiest character. Drew is now moving to hella sloppy, even sloppier than Brayden was earlier, because first and foremost, they had the family meeting. Drew's there. Obviously, they're gonna ask you, where's Gordo? You know you guys were dating, see each other, whatever you want to say, and now you did the worst job possible of covering up or staying less as non-suspicious as possible. You're not supposed to give away that there's suspicion that should be you that killed him. Like, it just doesn't make sense how weird he was moving when they asked him that. Like, you didn't prepare your answer for this prior to the meeting. Like, that's just smart. That would just be common sense to me. He's moving, way too erratically. He's not. I was clearly not thinking before he acts, because if he was thinking before he acted, he would have had a good excuse to where Gordo was. Moving way too erratic. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously he ends up finding out Everett comes out publicly, with another dude, and then just loses his stuff completely, bro. Mind you, I thought he was kind of getting over Everett with Gordo, but I guess that all fell back and then went back to the root problem, which was Everett. And then he follows Everett, ends up at the same restaurant, puts on a scene, gets caught on whatever was that, YouTube, whatever that was. And like, it's just too sloppy. He's putting himself there. He's too hot. You can't be with a family that's about to get hit with a Rico and be on TV, bro. That doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. He's not thinking. The cranium is not craniuming. Kane, man. Kane. I don't know how he had time to hook up with Effie. Like, if my family's, like, I don't know, picture this, y'all. If my family's facing a Rico, the last thing I'm thinking about is like hooking up with a shorty. Like, that's the last thing on my mind. Like, because if my family, that means it implicates me. I'm a part of the family. My last name's Tejada, so I can get caught up in this, and I'm not thinking about any of that, bro. I don't know. I can't think about getting aroused if that's what's going on in my life. But shout out to Kane for being able to compartmentalize, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was surprised he actually agreed also later on in the episode to hide in the bathroom when he was with Effie, because Tariq showed up. Because I'm like, if I'm Kane, as much as Kane hates Tariq low key, I would have been running to rub this in his face. But I don't know. I would have done it. I would have stayed right there in the bed. I wouldn't care what Effie said. But it was what it was. And then we know overall that Kane is not feeling, Monet. This is just a precursor, in my opinion, to what I've already predicted earlier in our earlier reactions, to where there's going to be a split at the top. Because Kane already doesn't want Monet at the top, and Monet's running things, and he doesn't like the way it's going. So this is where the split happens. And I'm interested to see who falls along the lines and what side of the split. You know what I'm saying? And how many splits there are. Maybe there's more than one split. Maybe it's not just a half and half thing. Maybe it's split down by the brothers and sisters. Like, I don't know. Well, I'm interested to see where power takes it. I don't think we're going to see that till maybe episode 10, going into season 4 kind of thing. But we'll see. I do know that this Tejada family will not have a happily ever after. All right, Effie. Now, I already knew once Effie opened that door with the lights tinted just at that nice pinkish reddish light, you know what I'm saying? If you've been to college, you know. And then the Summer Walker was playing in the background. I was like, yeah, this is going down. We've reached the moment where she does the the thing. Even though, like I said in the last reaction, Tariq has done this several times to each and every one of those three girls he's been with. So I don't know why this Effie doing this is a big deal. But for those who are, on the horny side, y'all got what y'all wanted. I said we, not we. Y'all got what y'all wanted. You know what I'm saying? She hooks up with Kane or whatever. And then later on in the episode, she ends up getting caught up, you know what I'm saying? Because they have her anonymous, they get the tip from Diana, and Sax runs with it, and they think it's, Coke, but Tariq already knows to prepare ahead of time, and she gets caught up, but, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't get arrested then, but then she gets arrested later on while she's with Kane for the attempted murder of Lauren. That was crazy. I didn't see that part coming at all. I thought we'd see Lauren in court before we saw this happen to Effie. But listen, man, I did not see that coming. And my thing is, I don't know who's going to bat for Effie, bro. I don't know. So that's the thing that I really don't. I really would like to see is like, are they gonna go to bat? Like, how long does Effie stay in there? Who's gonna represent her? Because Davis works for Tejada, Flame works for Tariq. Like, and clearly there's bad blood there, and there's not really that much love there. So what, you know what I'm saying? And then does Effie tell? We saw Diana. We're gonna get to Diana, but we saw Diana hold it down. But is Effie gonna hold it down? Being that she knows she's already on the bad side of everybody. The only person I really she really cared for is Kane. And I guess in that sense, it's like she might get. Does she love Kane enough for that? Also, fun fact: Tariq, actual Michael Rainey, who plays Tariq, posted on Instagram a picture of them two, and then he was just like, I just think it's crazy that you're giving it up for tuition. I thought that was dumb funny. Giving it up for tuition is crazy. Diana, she stayed 10 toes. She stayed 10 toes, and I can respect it. But I had a feeling she would. Like, she's cut from that cloth. She's born and bred into this. Like, she knows what she's supposed to be doing, what she's not supposed to be doing. She's smart, so she was able to, what I'm saying, hold it down when they was questioning her. Because Jenny and Blanca hit her with that good cop, bad cop motive, and we'll get to that. But what I'm saying, she played it smart. Obviously, she took Davis's advice which she should have, because she's familiar with Davis. She's not familiar with Sax for real, for real. You know what I'm saying, and getting her out of that situation. So I think she's a good job of her holding it down. But I just feel really bad for her because, like, you see at the end of the episode, she's trying to tell Monet, look, I want to get out of here. I want to get out of school in New York. I want to transfer. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. And Monet basically like, ha, get in the car. You not going nowhere. You in this. And I just always feel bad for characters that don't want to be in the situation they're in, but still have to just remain in those situations. It just sucks. But it is what it is, Diana. You were part of a drug family. It is what it is. And speaking of the devil, here's Monet. Literally. It's funny because at the beginning of the episode, Monet obviously is unsure about the daughter that she raised, if she's going to hold it down or whatever, and not even afraid for Diana per se. She's afraid for her own well-being, which, again, adding to the narrative of her being the worst parent in Power history. But besides the point, she doesn't want to go down for any of this. She doesn't want to go to jail. Because I do believe Monet, as much as she'll kill somebody or whatever, she really does not want to go to jail at all, prison at all. But she didn't believe in Diana, but Diana obviously ends up holding it down. And then, she's obviously at odds with Kane silently because, what I'm saying, she doesn't agree with Kane's motives, even though sometimes some of the things Kane has done on the surface were smart. Obviously, in the long run, they probably wouldn't have worked out had certain things not occurred. But, Kane made some good moves, and she's never credited him for it because she didn't come up with the idea. And, there's having that power struggle. Again, strengthening that narrative of there will be a split in the Tejada family. Also, funny thing is, she said Kane was out there getting some scholarship pussy. That was hilarious to me. Scholarship pussy is just mad funny to say as a mother. All right, Jenny. I'm going to use Jenny and talk about Blanca in between, but I didn't like the good cop, bad cop thing because I'm just looking at them like, yo, if I'm sitting there, even if I'm Diana with all these things stacked against me, I'm not taking you two clowns seriously. Like, Blanca, I don't like your voice, so I'm not listening to you already. Jenny, I don't like your face. I'm not listening to you anyway. So, like, it just was a waste of time for me. Obviously, her and Sax are at odds because, Sax came with them this rock solid tip. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And then, boom, it fell through. And she just cut that man off. She was like, it is what it is. It is what it is. But she had her redeeming moment where she's like, all right, we dropped the ball on the Rico, but look, we gonna get something out of this. So she ends up getting Effie at the end. You know what I'm saying? Lauren pops up in the back like, yeah, that's her. You know what I'm saying? And shoot, it is what it is. We'll see how this goes from here because obviously now they gotta deuce. You know what I'm saying? We gotta see where this goes from here. And I don't know. This is the type of things I you know what I'm saying, I question because I don't know where this is going now with that situation with Effie because again I don't know who's on Effie's side that tough and I don't know, maybe Noma steps in and that's like, yo, we gotta get her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll see. Braden. Once again, I still feel like he's mad about nothing. Like this whole Ponzi scheme thing, like, yeah, it matters to Tariq and, RSJ and the Tejadas. But as the family, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you so upset about it? Like, you think your family has made all this money, like, legally and with good intention and with their hearts in it and, honesty and all those other great values? No person in America is rich off of any of these things. You know what I'm saying? So, because this is what happened when you miss in your class. Tariq, he should have been in that class with Tariq and him. He would know about the American greed. But he's missed. He's not in school anymore. And he honestly was never in that class either way. So this is his problem. And obviously everybody's money is implicated, and he ends up being a piece of why they end up being able to get their money back in the long run, in the end. But I don't know, Braden. I just feel like if I'm that rich, I really can't care about how they getting the money as long as it doesn't affect my friends, which it did, and you let it be known, and then they fix that situation amongst themselves, and that's that. Tate, like I keep saying, Lorenz plays his character so freaking well because I believe it so wholeheartedly. Like I really believe, like in real life, this might be who he actually is. That's how much I believe it. You know, this is the story of Tate. You know what I'm saying? Women and trying to get the upper hand. He never seems to stick with a woman. It just because he never has motives that just are just genuine. Like he's just not a genuine dude, and he's just willing to say whatever you want. Like you're willing to offer this lady marriage, but you won't even be honest with her. Like, yeah, babe, I'm canceling the lunch, and then secretly go to the lunch, then get caught at the lunch, and then you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just there's not a genuine bone in Tate's body, and it's fun to see as a viewer because he's just so good at it. All right, last but not least, we always end with the star of the show, Mr. Tariq St. Patrick. You know what I'm saying? Tariq has to start off the episode, delivering the news about the Rico that to everybody, Monet and Drew and Kane obviously finds out from Monet and, he tells Davis, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. And then he ends up with another issue because, the money is gone because he finds out it's a Ponzi scheme. So now he has to run and tuck his tail between his legs, talk to RSJ. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how he got RSJ to, that's one thing I don't like per se. I feel like Tariq doesn't work hard enough in the show overall to get things done as far as change people's minds and things like that. I feel like he just gives like a impassionate couple lines and then like people just change their mind. I feel like that's not hard enough work to get like a billionaire like RSJ to be like, yeah, I'm not going to take this through like the proper channels, which he should have done. He's a billionaire. He shouldn't have to get his hands dirty with any of this. But he ends up persuading him to meet with Lucas and basically blackmail him, press him, and get the money back. I liked how Tariq was behind the whole thing of putting it on Effie and making sure that the shop was clean of all the products so that they didn't find nothing. And he tells, say we know that it's him when he tells Monet it's done, Davis is done. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, nobody tells Effie, but who cares at this point? It's Effie. But I did peep that Tariq was fake salty about the Kane and Effie thing. He was salty. He was like hit Monet with the, you know about this? And then Monet's just like, yo, I don't care who's messing with who. I'm here about the drugs, the money. Y'all handle all y'all nonsense on your own, which is funny to me. And you know what I'm saying? Tariq, although he didn't have anything going on in this episode that was like too much implicating, to too big basically. he had made major points in the scenes that just added drama, which I respected. I mean, he's kind of just cooling it basically because he's just the guy with the information and the guy that just comes with the plans right now. But Tariq, he hasn't been as active, as far as being the cause of drama or whatever the case may be. He's kind of been like a problem solver, a very fast, way too fast in my opinion, problem solver last few episodes. So I'm looking to see things heat up for Tariq going forward because, I mean, the Rico kind of came and went pretty quickly because obviously the Rico can't stick at this point. I kind of wanted to see them sweat a little more. I don't feel like they sweat that much, but it was what it was. But with that being said, this is another reaction from your boy Dapper. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and if you have a comment, leave it below. We'll get into that discussion. You leave your theories, if I was wrong on anything, if I missed anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to criticism as well. Healthy criticism, you know what I'm saying? Critiques rather, not criticism, critiques. And with that being said, we're out of here. Big dripper stand up in the ocean. Everybody trapping, we get lost. He ain't focused.